When it comes to franchises and entertainment I enjoy, I like to own things from those franchises that aren't just the original media. For example, if I like a show, it'd be cool to own something that isn't just DVDs of the episodes. I like Fortnite, so I wanted something related to the game that wasn't just the game itself. Since I would consider myself an enjoyer of action figures, I decided to look through the many Fortnite toy lines for a suitable one. The thing about Fortnite Battle Royale is it isn't really a game with any particular protagonists. It's not as simple as, oh, I like playing Mega Man, so let me get a figure of Mega Man specifically since he's the guy you play as in all the games and grow attached to as a result. In Fortnite, you just play as cosmetic husks that all serve the same function. Many Fortnite skins exist, with quite a few having been made into action figures, but I'm not just going to buy one of some random character just so I can have a figure. I'd want one of a skin I actually like. So, what skins do I like? If I like a particular Fortnite skin, it's because they follow two criteria. 1, they look cool, duh, and 2, they fit the setting of Fortnite. Due to that latter criterion, I dislike many Fortnite skins. Fortnite is a game about people shooting each other with guns. At least, it used to be. Does it make sense for an inflatable tube guy to snipe you from over 100 meters? It's actually kind of funny. But no! Oh, but he has shin guards! This skin totally fits the cartoony, warlike setting. No, that's not enough. The skin's too out of place. Does it make sense for Ryu from Street Fighter to be using guns? What about Spider-Man? What about Goku? What about Batman? Yeah, Batman! You know, the guy who doesn't use guns because they're against his moral code? I guess it's cool Fortnite's had so many collaborations over the years, but some just don't fit the game. Really, the default skins and those early variations of them are some of the best skins in terms of suitability. They're just a bit boring is all. A friend of mine likes to use the Tauren skin, and while it is a cool looking character, it really only fit in the season it was introduced. A character like this just doesn't look right wielding any contemporary weaponry. However, I don't react this way with skins like Drift, Peely, Ragnarok, and Black Knight, even though they can be seen as similarly out of place. I think that's mainly because they weren't built around a season's theming, unlike Tauren, who was clearly designed to fit the alien purpleness of Chapter 2 Season 8. Here's another example. Chapter 1 Season 8. It's pirate themed. They add pirate skins to the game. When the game is no longer pirate themed, pirate skins feel out of place. Regardless of any of that, compare Tauren, Drift, or those other guys to these golf chicks, or any sports skin really, or Bigfoot, or those superheroes, or Flytrap, or any brand collab skin, or Mariana. What even is that? Skins like these are not only lame, but reek of I was made by an artist at Epic Games tasked with creating something for the item shop. They're soulless, and there are lots of these. The overall goofiness and cartoony look of the game allows the character designers to get away with more outlandish cosmetics, and that's fine. One of the reasons I ended up trying Fortnite in the first place was because it didn't look like another one of those lame shooters with boring, realistic-ish graphics. At the same time though, I guess I'd prefer some consistency. In the end, I group Fortnite skins under 3 categories. At the top, we have skins that fit the game well. Maybe there's something off about them, but if I can see these characters using guns, it's fine. I'd be totally willing to play as these characters. Next, we have skins that don't necessarily fit the gun-filled setting, but just make you go, you know what, it's Fortnite, they're fine. Maybe their designs are just classic, maybe they have some lore to them, whatever it is, it helps them fit the setting of Fortnite more so than game with guns. I probably wouldn't use these skins myself, but I don't mind their existence. Finally, there are skins that also fit in that previous category, but I simply dislike them, so they must be grouped separately. Perhaps they just don't look that great to me, or they're way too out of place. Whatever it is, it's obvious they were solely created for people to waste money on, especially those who thoughtlessly buy every single cosmetic because Fortnite's their livelihood. Not the most well thought out or structurally sound thesis regarding something as unimportant as Fortnite skins, but it's kind of what goes through my mind when judging cosmetics I see in the item shop. That is, back when the item shop wasn't a complete eyesore and I actually did check it out. With all that being said, that, my friends, is why TNTina is my favorite skin. She's an explosives expert. Sure, not every weapon in the game uses rocket ammo, but she seems like a battle-ready character that knows their way with all kinds of artillery. She perfectly fits that top category of skins in my opinion, and looks cool to boot. She achieves a tactical look without defaulting to some boring outfit or neutral color scheme you'd see on basic, soldier-like characters not only present in Fortnite, but any lame shooter. She's also not just a default skin wearing a different outfit. She's her own character. It's the best of both worlds, a skin that's unique, but also looks normal with a gun in their hands. She was added around a time when Epic Games actually put some effort into the presentation of their battle passes. Nowadays it's just, boom, here's the battle pass, buy it. Chapter 2 Season 2 gave us these little animations for each Battle Pass character, and the Quests tab depicted them sitting around that hologram table. There was so much personality that season, and luckily, TNTina was part of that Battle Pass. She even has a unique idle animation in the lobby, which many skins have nowadays, but hers is honestly one of the better ones. Sky just kind of stands there. Mancake just kind of stands there. The Foundation just kind of stands there. TNTina also kind of stands there, but she's bent over with her foot on a propane tank, and that pose really makes her stand out in a lobby full of simpler idle animations. There's so much character to this, well, character. It's an additional benefit. Not many skins are in the same league as this one in my opinion. So yeah, that's why TNTina is my favorite skin. I guess timing also plays a role in this. She was added to the game when I got back into it, and that was when I decided to spend money on Fortnite for the first and only time. I probably would have gravitated to some other cosmetic if I returned at a different season. While I'm on the topic, this strictness isn't exclusive to Fortnite skins. It extends to the rest of the cosmetics as well. I stopped wearing backbling a while ago. That free backpack from the Chapter 1 Season 4 Battle Pass I almost never took off just wasn't looking right on TNTina anymore. The rugged blackish-green look doesn't really complement the bright red shirt it's behind, so I unequipped it and didn't replace it with anything. I'm also picky when it comes to pickaxes too now. I had been a fan of swords for the longest time since they took up less screen real estate compared to other harvesting tool types. Out of nowhere though, my brain was like, does it make sense for TNTina to have a sword? No. The elegance of a sword doesn't really match the chaotic nature of this character. Speaking of TNTina and swords, Epic Games had their State of Unreal showcase at GDC earlier this year, and on the day of it, my friend sent me this. It was TNTina shown for like a second in a sizzle reel where she swung a kinetic blade at the camera. Why though? Why did someone animate her specifically for this? The answer's obvious, the animator probably just likes the skin, but wouldn't it have made more sense to use a skin that actually uses swords, like Mizuki or something? I don't know, it just looked weird to me. Anyway, I now use this crowbar I got back in Chapter 1. I just think it fits TNTina more than a sword. I can totally see her using it to crack open like a fresh wooden crate filled with explosives or something. Whew. Now that is what I call a tangent, but I think it was necessary to establish what makes a good Fortnite skin in my eyes. I also don't think I would have had a better opening any other time to give my opinion on Fortnite cosmetics in general. Let's get back to the topic at hand. As mentioned before, there are many Fortnite skins. I think the number's been well over 1,000 for some time now. It'd simply make no sense to produce action figures of every single skin, so they have to go with some no-brainer picks as a result. You know, like Jonesy, Cuddle Team Leader, some Battle Pass skins, etc. Because of this, it's possible for one's preferred Fortnite skin to not have a toy version of itself. Epic Games seems to hate TNTina for some reason. At least I thought they did. Let's go! So I just assumed we'd never see a figure of her. Luckily, this Victory Royale toy line eventually had one made. And another. Didn't expect there to be a second one, but hey, I'm fine with it. The Ghost TNTina was actually part of the last wave of figures released in this toy line. For a while, I would occasionally search online to see if any new figures were out, but all that came up was stuff that had already been released. There haven't been any new releases in a while, so it's safe to say the toy line was cancelled. I'm not really surprised though. I could tell from the very beginning this series of toys was not going to sell all that well. I think it really just boils down to Fortnite's popularity. If these toys had been released during the Chapter 1 era when the game was a cultural phenomenon, I think they would have been extremely profitable. There aren't many of those ravenous "we like Fortnite" kids around anymore, and I also doubt there are many toy collecting adults that care for the game, so perhaps only a handful from both demographics ended up buying these figures, which isn't enough to keep the series afloat. It's too bad. It was a pretty cool toy line. Sure, I don't really care for anything here that isn't TNTina, but it would have been cool to see what other characters they'd have adapted if the series continued. Let's look at the figure itself now. Here she is, everyone, TNTina in the flesh. Or should I say, in the plastic. Boo! Now, don't get me wrong, I am extremely grateful the best Fortnite skin has a figure, but it has its issues. Let's start with her bra strap. God, that sounds so weird to say. Look, stay with me, alright? In the game, it's between the shoulder and neck. Here, they yanked it right to where the clavicle ends, and it looks wrong. They clearly did this to obscure the slit where the shoulder meets the chest. Those gaps and openings can really take away from the overall look of a figure, but you can't just get rid of them, otherwise the figure would be non-posable. So, obscuring points of articulation is really your only option unless you're one of those bendable figures with wires in them, but I digress. The bra strap creates like a natural dividing line on the figure, so even if there is a joint gap there, it isn't as glaring as other points of articulation. Maybe it's not actually why they did this, but it sure seems like it. It's ultimately not a big deal, I'm just nitpicking. Her pants are quite reflective. I'm not sure why they didn't give them a matte finish. The top half is pretty flat, but then the bottom half is just... I don't believe they're that glossy in-game. TNTina has 2 bandages that form a little white X on her left arm. They made it a tattoo on the figure. I don't really care, it's just a small inconsistency I thought I'd point out. That's honestly all I really had to critique. What's great about this thing? It's TNTina. There you go. That's it. It's a good-looking action figure of the best Fortnite skin, not some stupid Funko Pop, not some ugly minifigure you can barely paint details on. I'm satisfied. Let's look at the other stuff that came with it. Here's her back bling, the kabag. That name always gets me. What are these then? Her kaboots? Her kaboobs? Too bad you have to impale TNTina to actually attach it. That hole on her back kind of messes with the decal on the shirt. They squish it down slightly so it's out of the way. Here we have a glider and glider stand. Now, this is indeed TNTina's glider from the Chapter 2 Season 2 Battle Pass, but what the hell were they thinking? This glider? Why not the Bombs Away one? You know, one of the most iconic gliders in the game? The first of the surfing glider subtype? People were rocking this glider seasons after it was added. I actually still run into people using it occasionally. This was such a missed opportunity. It's so sad. To get what's depicted on the back of the box, some assembly is required. I'll be honest with you though, I don't want to do this. From the looks of these pieces, it seems like there's no disassembling once everything's snapped in. Here's the ghost version of the skin. I don't really want to open it though. It's just a recolor of the figure I just showed, so I don't see the point. Here's a picture. Sue me. What's with these accessories though? I get the kabag recolor, but a heavy sniper? A heavy AR? Yeah, they were in the loot pool that season, but couldn't they have given us her kaboom bow or something? The Sky figure came with a grappler, and that was one of her mythic drops. It's whatever, honestly. It's a second TNTina figure, I can't really complain. It is quite unfortunate this toy line was cancelled. As mentioned before, TNTina's Ghost variant was from the last wave of these figures. If the toy line had been doing well, I wonder if they would have made her Shadow style. They already made variants for other characters, so it makes you wonder if they were planning on eventually producing the remaining versions of them. You had to choose between the 2 variants back in Chapter 2 Season 2, and I went with Shadow for every Battle Pass character, so it would have been cool to have that version of TNTina as a figure. Guess the best I can do is have one in-game while the other a physical product. Alright, now I need to make this thing emote. I already used the default dance previously, so I unfortunately have to go with something less iconic. Maybe you're wondering why I'm only now making the video on this figure after having owned it since early 2022. The whole TNTina thing, I think it's a funny bit for the channel, but I didn't want to overdo it at the time, so I just thought, nah, no need to make a video, the community post is enough. Looking back, I was probably overthinking. It's not like I was unnecessarily plastering this character on every video thumbnail, or constantly displaying the, the framed photo I made for the bit. So yeah, that's why I abstained from making this video until now. Am I breaking character by saying all this? As already stated, TNTina is my favorite skin. Therefore, she is my signature skin, okay? Every Fortnite YouTuber has a signature skin. C-Days is Raptor, I believe Lachlan's used to be codename Elf, Fresh's is Reflex, Nick A30's used to be the Canadian Mogul Master, you get the idea. I'm not a YouTuber, let alone a Fortnite YouTuber, but if I were, I'd be uploading a myriad of unoriginal challenge videos like everyone else, but I'd distinguish myself by featuring TNTina in all the thumbnails. So, back off you savages, the skin is mine. I've secretly had dibs called since 2020. Just putting it out there in case someone thinks they can start an explosive YouTube career playing Fortnite years after the window for that passed, and has their eyes set on TNTina. Pick a different skin to populate your eyesores of thumbnails. Now, if there happens to actually be someone out there using the skin this way already, Mods, find their address, tickle their feet, and blow up their house. Nah, I'm just kidding. You can use the skin if you want. There are very rare occasions where I will encounter a fellow TNTina user in-game, and I totally don't go out of my way to kill them as quickly as possible. Really, I should be flattered. I mean, everyone knows who I am and that I'm obviously the only person who uses this character. Anyone else who happens to use it is clearly inspired by me because I am the original and the first person to do everything and anything in the It's great TNTina was finally made into an action figure. Fortnite will end one day. Actually, that statement might age poorly. Let's just speak hypothetically. When this happens, you won't be able to access Fortnite because the servers will be shut down. The game's mostly digital existence will be completely gone. I won't have access to my account anymore, but you know what I may still have then to keep those memories of the game alive? The TNTina action figure, because that is something tangible I actually own and don't need an internet connection for. I sense a disturbance. They finally did it. My favorite Fortnite skin in action figure form. Guess I have to make a dumb video on it. Yeah, I'll do it later. Let's just put it here for now, next to the TNTina photo. I forgot! I threw that photo out over a year ago! Man, it's probably in that one giant landfill on the west coast now. Well, guess I know where I'm going. Man, that was rough. Good thing this needle broke my fall. Now, what am I working with? Man, what a dump. Well, time to start looking.
Later.
It's hopeless. I've been searching for 5 minutes, and no luck. The only thing I've been able to find is this paper with a photo of my framed photo with geographical coordinates likely alluding to where it is. Ah, if only there were some way I could just go back in time. Stop myself from throwing that picture out. Wait a minute, that's it! Time travel! I gotta get back home! Okay, time machine, time machine... Oh, here we go. $20? That's expensive, man. Alright then, buy it now, checkout, free shipping, fast shipping, or deliver yesterday. What? Alright, time travel, duh. Instructions. Step 1, enter the time machine. It's a little small, isn't it? Oh! Wow, it's actually pretty spacious in here. Step 2, activate keypad. Okay. Step 3, enter date you wish to travel to. Okay. Step 4, press the equal sign. Ugh, I was not ready for that. Huh, doesn't really look like I'm in the past. Oh my god! That's the bin I threw the picture frame in! And that's me about to throw it into the larger bin! I gotta stop this, but I can't just confront my past self. Gotta think quick. Anything here I can work with? Come on, come on. Aha! What the hell was that? A rock? Hey! You think I didn't see you? Oh boy. You're not getting away with that little sneak attack, Sonic! Huh? What's the deal, man? Why'd you throw that rock at me? What rock? What do you mean, what rock? This one! The one you just threw at me! Delusional? Oh, so now you're hurling insults? Two can play at that game, Sonic. Let's see. You've never had a truly good 3D game. Sega never stood a chance against Nintendo back in the day. You're not even liked in Smash Bros. 9-year-olds think Shadow is cooler. Maurice is a stupid middle name. Okay, that was weird. Now, time to hide this somewhere past me would never look. Where would that be, though? Hey, this is perfect! No way he's accidentally finding that. Alright, time to head back. Okay, moment of truth. Yup, the frame's very clearly in there. Looks like I picked the right hiding spot. Gah! That's not TNTina! Ew! No, wait, this is fine. I can fix this. I'll just go back to the past and try again. Wait, why is this thing not turning on? Warning. Single use? But I used it to go back and forth. Wait, what? But didn't it also time travel when I selected the yesterday delivery option? Aw man, I'm stuck being a loser here now. Oh well. C'est la vie. Because that is something tangible I actually own and don't need an internet connection for. I sense a disturbance.